This video will review SpeedGrader in Canvas. To begin, I'm going to go to Grades in the far left-hand navigation menu. And when I look at grades, I'm going to see a student list and all of the outstanding materials that I have available to grade for students. So I can see that 2 of my students have completed work. They've both submitted a test assignment, they've taken our test quiz, and they've completed or participated in our demo discussion. So SpeedGrader is going to offer us different views of these different types of assessments and assignments. So we're going to start by looking at test assignment. I'm going to click on the downward arrow to go to SpeedGrader. I prefer that way because it keeps me in a singular tab instead of opening a second tab to grade. So when I'm in SpeedGrader, I have a number of functions at the top that would allow me to annotate this document. So this was just a regular PDF that Manib submitted, and I have a few comment features where I can add a point comment and I can give some text with that. I also have the choice of doing an area comment where I can highlight a whole area and provide commentary. I then can try a text comment, which is just a text bubble that I can put in here. So I highlighted something and added text. I also can draw, so I can choose a color and I can just draw on the page. And there's my annotations for Manib. Again, I can highlight without the text, so if I just wanted to highlight, I'm going to pick the color blue and highlight the word test. And so there, that's highlighted for Manib as well. I also have the opportunity to add text on the page itself. So if I wanted to add some red text, this needs more, I can do that. And I can also strike out text. So I can highlight text that he had and I can choose to strike that out. So pretty robust annotation options for faculty to use when grading papers or file submissions. If I go over here, this was a Turnitin assignment, so this is where I could see submission scores. Now, Manib only sent us a couple words, so there's really nothing for it to check for us, but this is where I could check to see that report. And if it's submittable, it can be resubmitted as well, so we can check things multiple times. I also created a rubric, so we can open that rubric now and I can choose how I'd like to grade Manib. So I'm going to, let's see, he had no citations, so I'm going to go ahead and save this grade for Manib. I can also add comments of what was missing, etc., and update those comments for the students to see, and those bubbles would become highlighted for the students so they would know they have additional comments. So now I've updated my rubric. Here's some of the feedback being presented. And then I can also add free-form comments to the student at the bottom. So great job. And I can click down here. I can add file attachments. I can do a media comment where I can record myself talking about the paper. And I also have an option to use speech recognition. The speech recognition would allow you to speak and it will automatically populate the comments to the add a comment space. It does get better and trains with hearing your voice, so it's something to consider if you try that feature. So I'm going to go ahead and submit my comment. And we'll now see that Manib's work has been graded. There's a check mark next to his name. If I wanted to navigate to Becky, I could then click over here and I could navigate to Becky. Here's her document that she sent me, which obviously has a lot more to it. And I can see here my Turnitin score will load and I can agree to the terms of use. And it's going to load the document and allow me to see what was a match. But there were actually no matches for this, so I don't have to worry about Becky plagiarizing, even though this is actually a trademarked document. So do be careful about Turnitin. Some of the same features. There's my point comment. There's my area comment. Whoop. There we go. So all those features that we reviewed before, as well as the rubric. So that is a quick overview of how SpeedGrader works with assignments. Now if I go into the discussion space, click on the downward arrow and go to SpeedGrader, I will see a a smaller view and I won't have all those full annotation features. And if you recall, we decided to mark this complete or incomplete. So I'm going to give it a complete score. You'll see Manib has a green check mark now letting me know that it's been graded. And again, I have the freeform comments that I can add. I can attach a file, make that media comment again, or do the speech recognition. And when I'm happy that, I can just hit submit. And if I go to Becky's now, she sent us a lovely picture of a cat. And I can again hit complete. And no annotation features again for the discussion, but I can add comments. Should I want to, I could go in and view the full discussion and see where this post rested in the discussion itself. But I don't need that level of detail today, so I'm not going to click there. All right, so now that I've happily graded those assignments, I'm going to go back to our gradebook one more time, and I just want to review the quizzes that they took and just make sure that everything looks great. So once I have this navigating back to our gradebook, I'm going to go and again click that downward arrow for the quiz. And I just want to point out to you, I could hover and in the corner of the submissions, I can click here and I can get a quick snapshot. I could also add a comment and I could enter SpeedGrader. When I do that from here, it's going to actually launch a second tab. And that can be dangerous when you're grading because then you have multiple tabs open and a singular tab not used for an hour will get you logged out of Canvas. So it's a good practice to just kind of operate in one tab when you can when you're grading to make sure none of your work gets lost. So here this is a quick snapshot of what I can see in the SpeedGrader for the students quiz. So they answered the question correctly. I'd set my bubble to give them feedback. I can now provide them additional comments in this comment box if I'd like to add something. And I also have the opportunity to add some fudge points. So fudge points are one way that you can do extra credit in Canvas. So if I felt the student did a particularly extraordinary job on this quiz, I can choose to give them fudge points. I'm going to update the score. And now Manib's going to have a 3 out of 1 on his quiz. And notice they both already have check marks because these quizzes were set to automatically score. But again, I can add my fudge points and update my scores, and now they will have a higher score on their quiz. So that's a quick view of SpeedGrader. Please remember that although I'm not reviewing it here, there's also a tablet version, particularly for iPad, for SpeedGrader that also allows for annotations and is very quick to grade with, so something to check out.